allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any public comment today? Anyone here wishing to make a comment?
Can I introduce Tom?
Yes, you may.
So it's my pleasure to introduce Tom Schneider. We just hired him as our new food services manager at Warner Creek, and I just wanted to bring him here and introduce him to you guys. So
Very happy to be here.
Thank you. Yeah. Great kids. Any other public comment? No? Okay. Communications comments, we had one item there. Department reports. We have the police department here today. We have a report from them in a packet. And from Scott Utley, 911 director. And fire, Mr. Davis Morrow. Any additional comments for that? Okay.
Nothing else. You have a question?
We have a little busy month.
A little bit more.
Don't we always, this time of year, the fires?
So far we're light this year.
Yeah, lights.
Lights and wood stoves. Fires. Warming fires.
Fires.
Anderson Engineering report. And Public Works, we don't have a report. Jeff currently is ill at the moment, so hope that he is better soon, back to work. Manager, Roberta, any additional comments on your report?
Oh, we did have interviews for an open position yesterday, and we also, we had interviews yesterday, so.
No decision at this point.
It was.
Okay, thank you. The consent calendar, we have the November 8th, 2016 regular session and December 2016 repeat. Any comments, questions, or corrections?
I move that we accept the consent calendar as presented.
A second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mayor, council manager updates. I have nothing to report at this moment. Karen?
I am still working with the chamber on the gala. Hoping many of you will attend, if not everyone. We have hired a second person in the chamber who will act as a assistant director. And so we're pretty much at full staff. It looks like it's going to go well.
Good. Great.
Well, all the Christmas decorations are up and running. And that we need to put a reminder out to people to try and keep their vehicles off the street when the snow starts. Make it easier for the city crew. And that is all I have.
Darwin?
Chip meeting tomorrow, Thursday. I checked out the new store downtown.
You checked it out?
Yeah, I was impressed, it looks great. Parking seems to be working okay as it's full, as open days. Other than that, nothing else.
Okay. And we will continue with, we have no old business, move to new business to discuss policy and practices. Apparently that's with City County Insurance Services.
It is. And Denny Sorensen, who is our risk manager associate, came down and met with us. And these are some areas that he thinks that are very important for the town. be aware of and implement a risk management policy. So that's what we're gonna be looking at. But those are the major risks that CIS has seen through the years that need to have special attention. So
I hope this is not just us, but other.
oh, it is, other cities, this is just a general, but they will be, we will implement a policy that pertains to Lakeview, because I don't really think we have too many boats or marine patrol, but you know what I mean. We will implement, they thought it would be good for you guys just to be aware, and then we will move forward with the policy.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the council on that? Carpet estimates, the big decision we have to make.
I want color control.
We have two estimates. Do we still have the samples? Have they seen the samples?
I don't know if everybody saw the samples, and
I did.
You saw, and I think they went back.
We had two with very nice samples, Sharon, that
Okay.
match our blue. They have blue and a little gray. And so Roberta and I don't know, Ray, you saw the one that we liked, a little bit lighter one. But we also have two different types of carpeting to consider. One is the stick down and the other is like a full carpet. And so
Tile,
the tile squares, which,
18 or 24.
Didn't say on there,
it doesn't really say the size in here, but the stick down carpet tiles for $8,282. The carpet is $6,532.
You've got the tiles over at the fire hall. When we bought those, we bought extra tiles,
Uh-huh.
just in case we had to pull one up. You can pull them up in
Yeah.
place if you get a stain or a tear. They
And
seem
are
to
you
be
pleased
working.
with them?
Yeah, they're holding up really well. It's a
See.
different type of glue that they put down.
I've noticed we've got area, I mean, like when you have your walking, your traffic areas like that, that the tile itself is so much better because there's nothing you can do except maybe burn this stuff. And if you needed to replace it.
I don't think the
then you
fire
can.
department would allow us to do this.
It would be an
It would be a
accident.
pollutant for sure.
And they
It's a
recommend,
controlled burn.
when we put ours in, they recommend when you put them in, you put one down, kind of let the grain going this way, and then the next one, the grain just keeps turning that way at all. I mean, you can see the tile, but it kind of gives a nice pattern.
It's a nice pattern.
That's good.
And they would be installing that, so I don't know if there's any way we can reduce the cost if we decide on that one.
On the 8,000 is the tile.
But yes,
Tiles and the carpeting or commercial grade.
Yes. They said that the regular carpet, the $6,000 proposal was high grade and had lifetime warranty. But, you know, I mean, if it wears out, it wears out, so I don't know how.
well, nothing lasts forever.
No.
So,
How many rooms are we talking about?
we are talking about
All downstairs,
all the downstairs.
Everything down on this
Mhm.
level.
where it goes.
Including the
meets-
annex.
Yeah, or it'd be to that door so that you don't have that gap. There's no carpet between this main floor and then you walk in there. So it'd all be put together and then not up the stairs.
But the annex itself would not be carpeted.
Would not be.
Would not be, we would not be putting new carpet in there at this time. Ray, what would you,
Well, at least it's not orange. So,
It would blend in with the carpet that we have in the other room and going upstairs.
well, what's the guarantee on the just the regular carpet and the guarantee on the tiles?
Basically, it's the same type of guarantee and it's, they said it's a lifetime guarantee, but, you know.
Whose lifetime?
Well,
The buildings or?
It's our lifetime.
Well, it could be a lot shorter for some others.
These are our
Don't use mine. I personally would recommend paying the extra money for the tiles. I think, I have them in an upstairs bedroom and we really like them. And I've seen them in so many public buildings and they're holding up really well, for instance, in the library. And they get all that traffic, so.
I would once again ask what I did when we approved carpeting, and I don't know where it went, but we never got it. We approved it, I remember. But I would, on this second go around, say that we need carpeting, but at the same time, I think that, I don't know if we had two estimates here, no one else from local wanted to give you any estimates, no local business.
No local.
Well, you can get a local business, but then they contract with these people or with Diamond to put it in. There's nobody in town, to my knowledge, that sells carpet and puts it in. Like, I know that Rob Thornton uses these people from Alturas to come and do all, most of his carpet work. So this is just going straight through them.
As well.
And Pro Build had a very limited selection, but
Okay,
they
well,
don't
I just
install.
was wondering, just wanted to make sure we're looking locally as
No,
well.
they don't install it, I already checked there too. So,
And they have no one to lay it, so we would have to hire
hire a
someone
contractor.
either there from Klamath Falls to
Yeah.
come over
Yeah.
and install it.
I don't remember what the courthouse did, but I'm curious what they did, but.
But was it local?
The
Yeah,
same
they-
ones that
I don't
did-
think anyone
did the
local does
lodge.
carpet right now.
Yeah, they did a real good job over at the Elks.
Well, I would make a motion that we approve the tiles for the 8,000 and some odd figure.
$8,282.
I'll second that. The fire department seems to have good luck with it, so
Okay.
they have more traffic than we do in areas.
We have a motion and a second to approve the carpet tiles for the town. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
trust in your judgment on the color.
I think so. Okay, we have resolution now, which will be number 886.
Does this matter sewer water?
This is the matter of sewer and water extension agreement with Red Rock Biofuel LLC.
What did you say, 36?
886.
Well, wait a minute. We're not ready on this, really?
What?
Sorry, my back is too. So don't number it,
Okay,
right? I mean, Jeff said there's something new, but it's not.
Right, but what this resolution, I thought, was saying was that you, John, Jeff, and I could negotiate
Okay,
and get it settled
you're right.
and not wait. So, we're working with Jeff at Red Rock, so once the town's protected, we could go ahead and enter into it, and that's what this resolution states.
As opposed to having, or waiting to January, or if it comes together quickly, having a special meeting, which what
Yeah.
Roberta wants to do, and I agree with her, is to authorize us to finish it up, unless you want to be intimately involved and have a special meeting.
well, I guess it depends on whether the council wants to see the agreement before it is signed off on.
Mhm.
So that's what we, I guess, need to think about, or council needs to decide right now if they want to do that, because with this,
Okay.
you and Roberta would be making a decision and we would just be signing.
Let
Is
me
that
tell
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Let me tell you, the agreement, and we've had the agreement, I think I've had the agreement since maybe June or July, and we're down to adding 2 paragraphs to it. Other than that, the agreement remains the same, so. But if you wanna see it again, then we'll have a meeting. It's council's choice.
Just with that stated, I mean, you guys are watching out for our best interest. I think that, whatever you guys are agreeing to is, you're covering our back. So I think that this is important. I think whatever you're gonna add is for good reason. And so I would make a motion to approve this resolution, given the number that we stated before, 886, as stated.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number, resolution number 886. Is there any further discussion or questions from the council? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next resolution is in the matter of removing and adding signatures to the Washington Federal Bank. So we will be having some people leaving and new people coming on, so we do need to change the signatures. Pretty straightforward here. That would be resolution number 887.
Pretty clear and simple. Motion to approve resolution 887 and removing and adding signatures to Washington Bank.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 887 in the matter of removing and adding signatures to the Washington Federal Bank. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next resolution is in the matter of the town manager employment contract, which,
That's going to be an executive session.
We still have the other session.
yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, I did have that on there. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, we will put that to the side for the moment. And so the next resolution is in the matter of the residential hot water supply agreement with Jerry and Wanda Ferry.
Actually, I'm gonna talk about the next two items, the hot water supply agreement as well as the second addendum to the lease agreement, because they're tied together, although it is appropriate to, if you decide to approve them under separate resolutions. Back before Ray Sims retired, I'm going to give you a brief history. He apparently had discussions with Jerry Berry regarding utilizing the Jerry Berry house as kind of a spec home for residential geothermal use. And then after Ray left, it kind of fell into my lap to continue the negotiations with Jerry. And I called Ray on the phone, and he, after Ray retired, he got a copy of a letter. He provided me a copy of a letter that he sent to Jerry Berry, dated July 27, 2016. The first paragraph talks about the royalty to be paid pursuant to the main geothermal lease that we have with Jerry Berry, which isn't relevant. And then the second paragraph, and I'll read you verbatim, it says, "I have discussed with staff the idea of providing you with geothermal heat for your home in exchange for you allowing your home to be viewed as a demonstration site for home heating applications. First, on the advice of our attorney, we should not do anything with the Blythe spring mitigation line until we are confident the primary goal of re-wetting the spring has been accomplished. Then it may be possible to accomplish the secondary goal we have discussed of heating your home. There should be an agreement between you and the town for this use." So Jerry started calling me and saying, "Hey, Ray Sims and I had an agreement, and we need to get it right." And I picked it up in October with Roberta, and we sat down and we finished the negotiations with Jerry. And what you see is the outcome of those negotiations is this residential hot water supply agreement. What we're doing simply is providing hot water to Jerry and Wanda Berry to heat their home. That hot water will be free of charge, and in exchange for that, we have the right to utilize their home as a demonstration home for geothermal purposes. The water that is going to be utilized to accomplish this heating of the Berry house, it doesn't come from the main supply line. It actually comes from what we call a 1-inch spring line, and the 1-inch spring line is a line that we put in the Blythe settlement, where that 1-inch spring line is the line that wets the Gus Allen hot springs that we're required to do in our mitigation agreement with the Blythe. So this isn't taking any water from the supply line, and it's merely using water that will be going down to wet the hot springs under our mitigation agreement. But in talking with Darrell Anderson, this doesn't interfere with our obligations to at all as far as geothermal heating in the school district and the hospital. Some of the things that Jerry wanted to negotiate, originally the agreement was personal to he and his wife, would terminate when they left the residence. We've now extended that to their immediate 3 children. The construction costs, the installation of the valves and so forth, all of that is set forth in detail with the agreement. But essentially, this is something Ray Sims and Jerry worked out, and I finished up with, and we have it today. Now, moving on to the second addendum to the real property lease agreement. This is a clarification. The real purpose of this second addendum is a clarification that the town owns that well, despite the fact that it's located on Jerry Barrett's property. The second addendum basically talks about what happens to the well, as well as the well pump, when either the lease expires and there's no renewal of the lease, and remember the town has an automatic right to renew the lease beyond 2052 if the well is still in production, or if the well is not in production, we have the right upon 30 days notice to terminate the lease at any time during the lease term. The second addendum really is an identification of what happens to that well when we cease to use it, and there's a provision in here that the well, the ownership of the well reverts to Jerry Barrett, and this is nothing more than simply a re-amplification of what's in the original lease, and the original lease requires we transfer the water right to him anyway. I know there's been a question about the pump and the electrical panel. Those are deemed fixtures, and they would pass to Barry at the termination of the lease anyway. Any personal property removables, we remove off the property. So it's pretty much a clarification of what we previously agreed to 3 years ago in our main lease with Jerry Barrett.
It was in the main lease? I don't recall that. We discussed it in our last meeting, in regards to providing them residential service.
No, that's brand new concept. As I explained, this is something Ray Sims and Jerry Barry worked on. It kind of dumped in my lap after he left.
And Ray said in his letter he touched base with the staff.
And he didn't touch base with me because I was calling him saying, what have you agreed to? So I knew that he was having discussions, I didn't know the details. And then Jerry started to knock on my door saying, I've worked this out with Ray, what's going on? So that's where it is.
A question, please, John. When we did the deal with the Blythe over that kind of a re-injection kind of thing for their property so that we brought their spring back up, I thought that once it came up to an agreeable level, then we could shut that off. But if we're taking that water and sending it over to Jerry, and it comes back and goes down there, what happens?
I don't know. Is Daryl here? Or did you call him? You didn't? We talked about it yesterday. Have you here? Oh, you forgot?
But isn't that that's how the Blythe agreement went, wasn't it? That once the water table or whatever they were worried about with their spring was back up to a normal situation, then we didn't have to give them any more water.
We could shut it off.
Yeah, but if we've got it somehow across here to Barry's,
Well,
if he can't go this way with it, where does it go?
it would stay in the supply line.
So it would just then go on down the...
Correct.
Okay.
So the way it is right now, it will go, it runs right, the line runs right in front of Jerry's house.
Right.
And so we'll stub it out, we'll run it through his house, right back into the same
Yes,
line,
I got
and then
that.
back up towards the Blythe.
Yeah, but see, we don't have to keep doing it to the Blythe once it's reestablished.
Well, if it's reestablished, so far it hasn't. So, maybe a long-term deal.
No.
And what is the total cost to the town of Lakeview to provide the berries with this service?
Can't answer.
So we're agreeing to this when we know that it's
Answer to that, right?
free of
If we
charge,
step up into it.
and we have this whole list of things we have to put in?
Yeah,
We don't know what it's gonna
maintenance
cost?
along with it at certain
Well,
times of the year.
here again, I knew that these questions would arise. They're not legal
Well, we
questions.
didn't want to disappoint you.
Well, I wish Daryl were here.
Maybe we should
Maybe we should
postpone
table
until
this until
Daryl
we
is
talk to Daryl.
able. I think that's probably best until we can find out some answers.
Because
One
we're
thing
agreeing
is
to
cost,
something we
right?
have no idea what it's gonna cost.
I don't like that
That's,
personally. Darwin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we just need to get some, just better numbers on what this
Yeah, the
means
cost
to us.
is, the cost is really minimal, because all we have to do is supply, where they take it out, you know, they take it out of our line, it's already there. And then Barry's have to pay for everything that goes from the line into the house, out of the house. And they also have to provide a BTU meter, so you know how much is being metered. So all we're really paying for, that is for this town side, is the connection out of the line and then the connection into the line. I would say it's less than $500. I mean, it's pretty minimal.
the BTU meter's our responsibility. The reason there's a BTU meter in there has nothing to do with Jerry Berry. It has to do with, if we take potential customers in there, it shows them what the BTUs that are being utilized. That the BTU meter we're paying for, and it's for our town information, has nothing to do with the Berries.
So, we've never really made a decision about whether or not we were going to
Provide residential
provide
service.
residential
So-
geothermal, because we had one other person interested. We tabled that so that.
I understand it, but here's one thing I want to emphasize. We're not setting a precedent, because this is not being hooked into the supply line.
I
It's
understand that.
merely utilizing water out of the 1-inch supply line that's running to the hot springs.
Which, so
Or
therefore, in
returning,
regards to a
essentially.
spec home, it's not gonna be the same as any home that would be in the town of Lakeview. This home is out of Lakeview, and it's got special circumstances. That line doesn't go by everybody's home. And so it's not gonna be the same kind of residential service that we're gonna provide if we go to that extent here in the town of Lakeview. So, I don't know, I don't see the need for a spec home when we're not even into that business yet.
And it is out of town, I mean,
Yep.
it's a very interesting
Maybe we
agreement
should
that
work
was
for one.
being discussed and ultimately made by our past manager that
I think
we
what you
never
really,
reviewed, which, you know.
I think really what you need to do, in
It's a
addition to
tough
Darrell
call.
Anderson, is have Ray Sims come and give us the history on all of this.
Probably would be fitting too.
I mean, regardless of the cost, I think Mike brings up a good point. It is gonna be a lot different than what a true home on this service that we may provide in the future may look like. And we're talking about a return line, and, you know, that return line, you know, its temperature probably won't drop too much from one house. But when we talk about what may happen to the hospital or the school, if we start drawing a bunch of residences off of the actual main line that's servicing them, we may not ever get into the business of wanting to go to homes, and then we've got the spec home, and, you know, regardless of the cost, I think it's just bad in principle to be making these kind of agreements without the board's
Well,
kind of review of them.
let's not prejudge it.
No,
Let's
but
get the
from what the
facts.
information I think we
think
have
we
so
get Darrell
far,
Anderson and
right.
Ray Simpson here, you can answer a lot of the questions that you're posing, so.
I think
Way to go
that's,
about it.
And both individuals, you know, they're great in doing, so I'm not worried about that. I think, yeah, let's just get them in there and table this for now.
Okay, great.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are in agreement that we will table the resolution in the matter of the residential hot water supply with Jerry Berry and the, what's the second matter of second amendment to an addendum to the real property lease agreement.
Well, if we
Okay,
have
do we need to move forward? Does it have ties, John,
Yeah.
in regards to the other resolution?
Yeah, no, you can't go with one without the other.
Okay, because it had different, I didn't know they were tied together.
They are
Yeah.
tied, they are tied.
We'll bring those back under the next, during the next council meeting, along with Darrell.
All right, we will table those, and now we will move to executive session under ORS 192.6602A in the matter of a personal service contract with Jeffrey B. Headland, and under the same ORS in the matter of the town manager employment contract. Yeah.
I don't know how easy confused I get. I had a couple of comments to make, walk in here, thought I was in the wrong meeting.
Does the council mind if the news reporter stays?
No.
as long as he understands the.
You are aware that you may not report on anything that is said during executive